Hi, this is Gil Still, and this is my assignment for Module 8, Case Study Narrative, More Than Money. So looking at Section 1, Summarization of the Case, who is involved? The individuals involved are Dr. Lisa Bentley, she's the superintendent, Meadow School District, the State Education Agency, business people, the residents of Meadow School District, the employees, and parents. Various positions that are mentioned, such as reading specialist, the 4 librarian staff, the school safety officer, and the high school nurse, and then Dr. Bentley's administrative assistant. Section 1, summarization of the case, still continued. So what happened? What happened is that the State Education Agency announced that there were going to be cutbacks in funding for rural districts. So that would include districts such as Meade School District. Dr. Bentley and other steering committee members have been meeting to explore new options to help with cutbacks in funding. Dr. Bentley, though, came up with a proposal to the school board, which includes eliminating various positions, programs, and purchases. Parents and employees were upset about the proposals and the lack of transparency and inefficiency. Section 2, legal or ethical issues. Dr. Bentley has a proposal to school board, which includes eliminating the various position programs and purchases. Dr. Bentley's administrative assistant is the wife of the middle school librarian, so one of the positions that Dr. Bentley is looking to eliminate. Somehow word got out about Dr. Bentley's proposal to the board. It's kind of insinuated that maybe it was Dr. Bentley's administrative assistant. So coming down to that, concerned parents and employees are in the boardroom due to the lack of communication that was non-existent through oral, written, or digital means. Section 3, synthesize exactly what happened. So Dr. Bentley was faced with cutbacks in funding and came up with a proposal to the school board, which includes eliminating various positions, programs, and purchases, but did not effectively collaborate and communicate through oral, written, or digital means with stakeholders. Section 4, synthesizing the facts. People directly involved: Dr. Lisa Bentley, the superintendent; business people, the residents of Meadow School District, which include parents and employees, amongst other stakeholders; the school board; Dr. Bentley's administrative assistant. The place that this occurred was at Meadow School District, and the program is where it comes up where the State Education Agency was looking to do cutbacks in funding. So then that's where Dr. Bentley came up with the proposal for the school board, which was eliminating those various positions, programs, and purchases. Section 5, reviewing and prioritizing information. So some of the damages that could happen is there's not a strength of student learning. Focus on that due to the proposal of the elimination of certain classes, such as art, getting rid of the reading specialist, getting rid of the Chromebook initiative plan. After school activities were getting taken away, certain of them, the SRO, the high school nurse, and then not purchasing the high efficiency air, fan, and filtration system, which is focusing on the health of students. Other part of damage is that diverse families, community members, partners, and other stakeholders were not effectively collaborated with or communicated with in this scenario. The communication about the proposal was not shared orally through words or digitally with stakeholders before taken to the board. Questions that I still wonder about: how will Dr. Bentley's lack of communication, oral, written, or digital, impact her relationships with employees and parents of the middle school district? How will the removal of positions, programs, and purchases impact strengthening student learning both in and out of school, or how will it harm that? Section 6, options and possible consequences. So looking at no action. So teachers may leave the district because there's a lack of trust and transparency. Student learning is not improving. Trust is lost due to the lack of communication through the various forms of communication. Enrollment could decrease. Let's say the Board of Education follows through with Dr. Bentley's proposal. Teachers and employees may leave the school district. Students' learning could suffer due to the removal of certain classes and programs. Students' health could suffer due to not getting the updated fan and filtration system for the high school. Employees and parents are not trusting the middle school district because there was a lack of two-way communication. Third option is a committee is composed and collectively come up with a proposal. The benefits of this collective efficacy is built amongst families, community members, partners, and other stakeholders. Two-way communication is occurring between all stakeholders. Oral, written, and digital means of communication can be used to share what's going on in the proposal and all the details and meetings that they have. And then the strengthening of students' learning will be the focus. Section 7, evaluating the options. So no decision. Looking again, the retention and student enrollment could decrease. Trust and relationships are lost due to the lack of communication through the various forms. Students are losing out on class opportunities and certain after-school events. The school and student safety could be in jeopardy due to the lack of the SRO. Board of Education follows through with Dr. Bentley's proposal. Students are losing out on class opportunities and certain after-school events. School and student safety could be in jeopardy. Students' learning could suffer due to the removal of the certain classes that they would like to take or need experience in before post-secondary education. Health would be a major impact due to not purchasing our fan and filtration system for the high school. Employees and parents overall do not have a trusting relationship with the school district. Looking at option 3, which is a committee is composed and collectively come up with a proposal. Benefit is collective efficacy is built amongst all stakeholders. Two-way communication is occurring at all times, which is then, with those two things, trust and relationships becoming stronger due to communication and transparency. Section 8, the best option. In my opinion, the best option is where the committee is collectively coming up with a proposal. So a committee could be composed of Dr. Bentley, the diverse families, community members, parents, teachers, partners, and any other stakeholders that we deem necessary. Committee members discuss the imminent cutbacks in funding. Committee members discuss funding and priorities of what is necessary to make sure that we are strengthening the learning both in and out of school for the students. Committee members are creating two-way communication messages that are sent out orally in a written format or digitally about the committee's goal to prioritize funding due to the cuts that are occurring. Committee comes up with their proposal and shares the proposal orally, written format, and digitally. Section 9, so imagining the implementation. So first, the committee is put together by Dr. Bentley. The committee is composed of Dr. Bentley, diverse families, community members, partners, teachers, parents, and other stakeholders. Then Dr. Bentley shares the cutbacks in funding concern, other information along from the state agency, and shares the current budget and allocations with the committee. The committee shares this with stakeholders in oral, written, and digital format. Next, the committee discusses what pieces of the budget are necessary to continue to strengthen student learning and what positions, programs, and purchases can be eliminated. The committee then comes up with a decision, comes up with collective efficacy, puts all of their recommendations. The recommendations are shared with all stakeholders, asking for advice, and a message is sent out that's encouraging two-way communication in the 3 types of formats, orally, written, and digitally. The message then will invite diverse families and all other stakeholders to the next board meeting. Lastly, the solutions and findings from looking at the collected data will be shared with the Board of Education and parents at the next meeting. Section 10, just my CLL understanding correlations. So CLL 5.1, Dr. Bentley needed to focus on engaging the families in her decision-making process and other stakeholders and include them on the conversation. She also needed to keep the focus on strengthening student learning and thinking of other ways to adjust the budget by collaboration, and thinking about by eliminating certain positions, initiatives, and things that how it may have a negative impact on her school district and not focusing on students first and foremost. CLO 5.2, my solution within this process and the best option I chose would include all stakeholders, the families, community members, partners, parents, teachers, other stakeholders. And by doing this, it's building a trusting relationship. And and the solution comes up with communicating with them orally, written, and digitally. The purpose of this is to engage them in a two-way communication and let them know that we do want to hear their voice. CLO 5.3, by communicating with all stakeholders in the different various formats of communication, show transparency and two-way communication. And it's also cultivating those relationships, which shows stakeholders that their voice is valued, they do have a voice, and it's just a way to include them in the process as well. Reflection of this project overall. So I learned a whole lot on the importance of community and external leadership. I learned throughout this process and reading the case study that including all stakeholders at all time is vital. Being transparent and providing those opportunities for those stakeholders to have a voice is great because it avoids the parents and employees to not be upset and to the lack of transparency and efficiency. By including stakeholders in the decision-making process, Dr. Bentley would have been able to share that her focus of strengthening student learning both in and out of the classroom, even with cutbacks in funding. Creating a committee of various stakeholders is a great way to show stakeholders you value their voice and are wanting advice from them to help them come up with solutions. This case study also made me super aware of the importance of engaging and communicating the various stakeholders. By having this communication, it's showing employees and parents that you do trust them, and it's not having them show up to a board meeting in disarray. Overall, in the end, this case study really helped me understand the importance of community and external leadership. I was able to gauge the importance of engaging and communicating with various stakeholders through oral, written, and digital communication. By communicating this, you are able to give all stakeholders a voice, show them you value them, and most importantly, cultivate those relationships.